Hey everyone, this is Brian Shoup. If you're not familiar with who I am, I'm a small business owner in Milford. My wife and I own Fur Baby Pet Resort. We're opening a new store called The Pharmacy, which will sell fresh food from around Delmarva. I'm also the CEO of Delaware Live News, and I also happen to be fortunate to serve my hometown as a state legislator as well. I continue to hear this narrative out there, very discouraging narrative, especially for young men and young women, about how the system is against them and there's nothing that they can do in order to improve themselves, nothing they can do in order to make a good living, nothing they can do in order to stabilize their family and get on the track to being successful. And I just want to take a moment and let those young women and those young men know that is utterly false. From the beginning of this video, you might have heard what some would consider some impressive titles or jobs that I have, and I've got to tell you that wasn't the case not so long ago, and it wouldn't have been the case if that system was flawed in the way that many people say it is. You can work hard, you can improve yourself, and you can make your life look like what you want it to look like. I remember when I met my wife when I was 27 years old. I had just started the business Milford Live about a year before that, and when I met her, I was living in an apartment on the third floor, sharing it with a friend. Both splitting the $800 rent because we couldn't afford it on our own. I had a car that literally would not go in reverse because the transmission was broken, and I could not afford to fix it. At that time, I think could have been easy for me to say that the system was broken, or that something was wrong with society, or something was wrong with what was going on in outside, instead of looking inside and saying, okay, I need to make improvements, and I need to do something in order to make sure that I'm moving in the right direction. I had a full-time job before I started my first business, Milford Live, and was not happy there. I decided to leave there. I had literally $400 in my bank account. Did not have really enough to start that business, but I went out on faith, and I went into my community. Most of my time was educating people on what I wanted to do. I wanted to share news from around the community of Milford and the surrounding towns, and people really enjoyed that idea. And at the time, not only did I write the news articles, but I also sold all the advertising and put the newspaper together as a publisher at that same time. So it was finding ways to be better every single day. When I met my wife, she was starting a small business, Fur Baby Boutique at the time, a small retail business. And there wasn't people there to loan us money. There wasn't people there to give us stores or give us benefits. It was us working hard together every single day. I would write for the newspaper while she was at the store, and then I would come in and help her at the store afterwards, and we found a common bond in doing that. And I think people look at what people have today. They look at maybe people like my wife and I, who have businesses for over 13 years, and they say the system is unfair. But I want them to look at how we got there, and the things that we did, and the things that people are doing to improve their lives. And notice that not everybody's in the same position right now, but that they can be. The biggest thing, the hardest thing, but also the best thing that my wife and I ever did for our family was start our own business. It was the scariest thing. It was the most difficult thing. It still is the most difficult thing that we do day to day, waking up and determining our own day, our own month, our own year. But it is the best thing because it allows us to have independence in what we do, independence in our systems, independence in our financials, and independence of what our thoughts are and what we want to do with the rest of our lives. Um, I want to give everyone one tip, what I think is a way to start thinking differently when culture pushes you and says that the system is flawed and it's against you, and you think, where I am right now, how can I better my life? How can I improve myself? And even after I had businesses, even after I had titles, even after I was a state rep, I found myself again in this position where I said, I need a change. And this time it wasn't with business life. It wasn't with being a representative. I had everything that I wanted in a career, at least at this point, and I had a foreseeable future that I really wanted. But in my personal life, there were things that I really wanted to improve, including my health, including my mind, including my family, and those are all things that I wish I focused on before. Things that I wish I focused on the foundation before I got started. One thing, the one piece of advice I would give to people is start with one thing that you think you can do better in your life. Do that right away and start building on that one thing. I literally sat down with a piece of paper, a journal, and wrote out who I wanted to become, what kind of man I wanted to be, who I would need to get there, what tools I would need to get there, what improvements of myself I would need to get there, and started to write it out and read it every single day. And that was the first thing, the first stepping stone to help me see my flaws, that helped me see what I was good at, and helped me see how I can improve my strengths and also improve the things that I was challenged by, and also strengthen my weaknesses that I had, and there were many. I think that's something that we've lost, is that we do not try to, and I'm speaking very generally, but a lot of times, and even myself, we don't want to look at our weaknesses because we don't want to, it's sometimes it's too hard. It's too hard to look inside of us. But when we do that, when we can accept it, when we can see what those flaws are, we can look at how we can strengthen them and make our lives better. For me, I had searched, I had read books, I had watched videos, I had read religious texts, I had read the entire Bible, and I was trying to find out, what is it that I can use to improve my life? And it turned out all those things, have worked and have helped me. But I needed to start improving on myself first. Instead of asking what the world was going to give to me, I needed to say, what am I good at? What skills do I have? What skills can I improve? And what can I give away to the world? What can I give to my community? What can I put out there to help others? And the world will tell me where my path is. One really good, I think, pointed direction you can go, and I know it's a little bit before New Year's Eve, and people usually make New Year's Eve or New Year's resolutions, but it's never too early to start thinking, is to think of one big thing you can do each year to change your life. And I'm going to go through the 4 that I've done since I've started this about 4 years ago. They have helped immensely. You focus on that one thing for a year. You know that you are going to, you're not going to overcommit to trying to change your entire life. You're not going to overcommit and try to conquer that one thing in the first week, even in the first month, but you're going to conquer that one thing in a year, and you're going to put it as into your life as a habit, as part of who you are. This has helped me immensely, and again, I'll be in year 5 as we start the new year this year, and I'm very proud of that. The first one was to look at my health, to eliminate bad food, fast food and alcohol and get into a position where I was caring about what I was putting into my body. And that was the first step for me, was making sure that I was not putting stuff into my body um, that I was going to regret at a later age, but also, um, that I would see, even if I would try to work out, what would be the point if I was eating bad food or drinking or, you know, going to McDonald's or Taco Bell or something of that nature. So, eating right food, having the right mindset set around health was the first year for me, and I took little steps at once. First, it was portion control. Then it was eating from fresh, farm to table. Then it was cutting out desserts, one thing at a time. But over that year, I started to conquer that thing about eating and living a healthier lifestyle. The second thing, which I'm still doing a lot of today, which I absolutely love, was to read more. I had read in college, and basically because I was asked to read by the professors, but I challenged myself to read at least a book every 2 weeks. And I said, you know what, that'll allow me to read every 2 weeks, will allow me to read close to 30 books. And I said I was going to do it. I'll take a year. I'll do it. And I ended up reading 47 books that year. And that was 3 years ago. And every year since, I've been over or near that number of 47 as well. And the things that I have learned, the things that I have been able to do with my life because I'm reading on average a book every 2 weeks, has immensely been helpful in my life. I never thought, before I started this transition to getting back to reading as much as I wanted to, I maybe read 2 or 3 books a year. And now I'm, 40 plus books a year, and just by introducing something new once a year and conquering that thing. So now you've got healthy eating and living, reading again. The third thing that I did was I started running and going back to the gym. I had done that when I was younger. I played soccer a lot. I also did some when my daughter was younger. She's 7 now. And then when my son was born, I slowed down a lot. And I decided to put that back into my lifestyle, going to the gym or running about 4 to 5 days a week. And that really helped me put back into perspective my health. There's an old adage that, people when they're older will pay. They will try to pay to get their health back, and at that point, it's too late. And health is something really that you need to stay focused on. But after over the course of the year, I started to see that it's not just about what I thought it was about as a kid, trying to have bigger muscles or look good for the girls when you're at the beach, but really was reduce my stress levels. It helped me communicate with my friends and family because I wasn't stressed out all the time about work or what was going on with family, and it helped me relax. It helped me to just have some moments where I could just think through stuff and decompress. So that one was a really big one for me. And the fourth one was last January. And I'm still really working on this one. And I know we're already in November, but I committed to communicating better with those that are closest to me. This one was huge for me because I'm a public servant, CEO of a statewide newspaper. I know how to communicate. I know how to talk with people. I talk with people all the time. I read newsletters. I do videos. I talk with people in person. But I really want to communicate better with the people around me, my family, the ones I love, my wife, my children, my parents, my wife's family, immediate family. I mean, those are the people that mean the most to me. And those are the people that are going to build our family team together. And I feel like I want to communicate the best with them. I want them to know what I'm thinking. I want to know what they're thinking. And I really love that I did that. I had we had a huge challenge this year in August when my dad had a stroke. Uh, really took us all by surprise. Very healthy. Went to the gym 5 6 days a week. Was always active, and we never saw this coming. And luckily for us, because of his health, because he was in such good health, he's recovering very well. Not where he wants to be, of course, but he's recovering very well, quicker than we ever thought he would. But I've got to know him over this year more than I have throughout my life, and even after his stroke, he can still communicate well, just like I'm communicating with you now, and we're continuing that communication, asking about his childhood and mine. He's asking about things that I thought about my childhood that he never asked when when I was a kid living in their house. He even showed me the house that he was born in Philadelphia this year, and just really great things that will improve your life. So, when someone tells you that the system is flawed, number one, don't compare yourself to people who have been driving and improving themselves for 2 decades or more. Talk to those people and use them as mentors. Ask them how they started. Ask them what they did on day one, on year one, on decade one, and get started working. Don't ask. There's always ways to improve the system. And I want to improve the system as much as everyone else, and that's why I love being a public servant, because I definitely think there are ways that we can. But at the individual level, dig deep inside yourself and see how you can improve, and I guarantee you will be successful. Find a mentor. Through that mentor, find the things that you can improve about yourself. Find a way that you can serve your community, and you will be successful. It will change your life once you start to pick one thing a year that you want to change. Something big, something and I knew all these things. I knew every single one of these things that I wanted to do better. Some of them I knew for 10 to 15 years that I needed to do, and I just kept doing them. I just kept ignoring them. Take the time now, write them down. I'm telling you now, it'll be the best thing you ever did in your life. And I think if all of us do it together and we focus on each other, we help each other out. I've got a few friends that hold me accountable to my stuff and ask me how I'm doing. And you need to find yourself one of those friends as well. If anybody needs help with creating any of these lists for them, or just wants a mentor to reach out to, I'm more than happy to help. I really think that as we start to improve our communities and towns, we need to improve ourselves as well. All of us. I'm still improving. I'm still going to be improving while I'm a dad. I'm still going to be improving when I'm a grandfather. As a business owner, every single day I'm improving, and I'm looking for ways to do better. And I think if all of us can do that at some level, not only are we going to be all right, but we're going to thrive. We're going to do very well. And I just hope that someone hears this that really needed that. I really hope that somebody who is thinking that they're not on the right track, or that the system is against them, can hear that, I've been there. I've been that person that thought everything was against them. I've been that person that had no money in their pocket, that didn't know what was going to happen day to day. And I can tell you, if you focus on yourself, you focus on your goals, and you do what needs to get done, you hustle, you will improve and you will be successful.